The Peugeot 408, the car which seemingly broke the internet. Almost 300,000 people watched my previous walk around of the 408. And whilst I compared it to the Lamborghini Urus, and that definitely stirred up a little bit of controversy, a lot of you agreed with me. This is an amazing looking car to come out of the French car maker. It's really clear that Peugeot are not messing around when it comes to their new designs. First we had the Peugeot 308, which had a fantastic facelift, and now followed by this, the 408, which gives you a little bit more interior space and a higher ride height for those people who like their SUVs. However, on that walk around, I wasn't able to yet drive the Peugeot 408, so today I'm going to get to do that. And the one that I've picked is the top spec plug-in hybrid 225 engine. So this is the most powerful engine. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know and also get my impressions on a first drive. So if that sounds good, then please keep watching. And if you like new car reviews and car content, then don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So let's chat about the design, because Peugeot are using the word allure. And they're saying that they want this car to be really striking in its design. And I have to say, they've done an excellent job at achieving that, because this is a real head turner. Finished in this GT line trim, it does have some slightly sportier styling. It's also riding on massive 20-inch alloy wheels. Now, these wheels on the GT line trim are an optional extra, or they come standard on the first edition cars. But at nearly £45,000, that is a hell of a price tag for a car like this. But it does look pretty good, and it looks a lot better than a lot of cars which are coming out of the German market. But let me know, what do you guys think of the Peugeot 408? Do you like the design, or is it not really for you? You can choose from 3 core models: the Allure, Allure Premium and the top spec GT. All cars get high levels of specification, including sat-nav, reversing camera, voice recognition and smartphone connectivity. The prices are bold like the design. Cars start from upwards of £31,000 for the entry-level car, while the plug-in hybrids are nudging on £40,000. There are a few colours to choose from. Surprisingly, this beautiful Obsession Blue is actually a free colour, which is a result, because the colour-changing effect really accentuates the 408's bold design. Peugeot's signature lion fang or slash headlights are present with the brand's new emblem Prize of Place, just like on the 308. Around the front of the car, and you can really see the effect of that colour changing paintwork. As it wraps around the creases, it almost changes to a greeny colour. You've also got a colour tipped front grille, which just makes it all flow together. And then right in the centre, you've got that massive new Peugeot crest. Now this Peugeot crest is actually finished in a particular material, which means that all of the Peugeot's safety systems, which use the radar sensors, are all housed inside the badge, meaning there's no need for any nasty, unsightly radar sensors. The French car maker Stellantis, who own the likes of Peugeot, Citroën and Vauxhall, recently have been bringing out models which don't seemingly sit into conventional boxes. For instance, the Citroën C5X is not quite an estate but isn't quite an SUV. It's starting to blend all of those different worlds together, and the Peugeot 408 is doing the same. I personally would say that this car is most like an SUV coupe. However, Peugeot have also thrown around the word fastback, which seemed to upset a few people. But it does blend together a load of functionality from all of those different body shapes. It's got a low-riding hatchback feel about it, but you sit up nice and high like an SUV. It's got the space of an SUV, but it also has that sleek body shape of a fastback. It's offering all of the advantages of different versions of cars. The 408 is actually 51mm longer than even the 308 station wagon, but the key figure for many will be the increase in wheelbase. The 408 stretches 107mm further than the 308. That has given the Peugeot a chance to rectify one of the 308's biggest flaws, rear passenger space, meaning rear interior space is very impressive, and it offers the most knee space of any Peugeot. When it comes to what's powering your 408, there are 3 engine options to choose from. 1 petrol and 2 plug-in hybrids. Kicking things off with the petrol, it's a 1.2 litre 3-cylinder engine labelled the PureTech 130. Of course, this is the famous tried and tested engine which goes into a lot of Stellantis products. And whilst it works in something like the Peugeot 208, I think it's just a little bit underpowered for a car of this size. But I think that's intentional. I think Peugeot are pushing people towards the plug-in hybrids, of which there are 2 options, a 180 and a 225. They both get a 1.6 litre engine combined with an electric motor and a 12.4 kilowatt hour battery. The 408 can travel for up to 40 miles on fully electric, and this is the magic number. Because it hits that 40 miles, it means that it gets an 8% benefit incline tax, making this car very appealing for company car drivers. The car that I'm driving is the slightly more powerful 225. It's the same engine setup, but it's just a tad more powerful, and it works really well in this car. It feels nice and peppy. You've got a lot of power that comes with the electric motor. You've got a nice amount of instant torque. It's definitely better suited than the petrol setup. However, of course, once you run out of that electric, it hasn't got quite the grunt that you'd want. So it's going to be ideal for people that cover short journeys and can stay with a 40-mile range on their battery as much as possible. There's no doubt that the hybrid engines are better suited, but it is a shame that there's no 4-wheel drive option. It would be really nice if eventually we see the hybrid engine from the Grandland fitted to the 408. The combination of that 300 PS and the 4-wheel drive would be perfect for a vehicle like this to just give it a bit more of a premium touch. Although we do know that a fully electric vehicle is coming too, and it may get a new generation of battery which could see closer to 300 miles, which would then make it very appealing. Around the back of this car is where you start to see some of that station wagon styling. It's quite long, which gives you a really good amount of boot space, which I'll talk about in a moment. To me personally, the rear view isn't my favourite. I think it feels quite masculine, especially because you've got this extended rear plastic bumper. Now, if you do go for a darker styled car, like the grey or the black, that is less obvious. However, there is lots of styling details I love at the back. I love this cat ear feline spoiler, which makes the car really aerodynamic. You've also got this ducktail spoiler as well. And I really like those 3D Peugeot rear lights. Unlike Citroen's recent offering of the EC4X, this boot space is far more practical. You've got a nice low loading area, so getting dogs into the boot will be really good. You've also got this back bumper, so it shouldn't get scratched up. And you've also got a nice scuff plate as well. Now, there is a very small lip on this boot, but it is very marginal. So lifting things in and out should be really easy. And it's also nice and wide and open as well. At 536 litres, the boot capacity is 175 litres, up on what you get in the 308. If you go for one of the 2 plug-in hybrid options like this one, the battery in the back raises the floor slightly and cuts the size to 471 litres. That's still pretty respectable though, and enough space under the floor for the charging cable. It might not be the most boot space, especially not on this hybrid model, but it is more than practical. You'd do well to not be impressed by the modern interiors of Peugeots. The fit and finish is really high quality, and they're also very futuristic and quite edgy. Those angular creases you've got in the exterior of the 408 are mirrored onto the interior. You've got a sharp dashboard, which actually has a full-size glove box underneath, not like the small glove boxes you used to get in previous generations of Peugeots. You've also got lovely details like this leather-wrapped steering wheel with the GT badge and the contrasting lime green stitching. Now, the seats that I have in this car are actually upgraded full leather seats, but I actually prefer the Alcantara that you get in the standard GT car because I like that contrasting stitching that you get on them. But you can't argue that these are very, very comfortable, and they're also 8-way electrically adjusted as well. It feels very driver focused. everything is angled towards the driver. You've got this lovely centre console which houses plenty of storage. You've got a couple of cup holders which could be tucked away, some wireless charging, and then up to your infotainment screen. Now, some people may argue that not having physical climate controls is annoying, and whilst I would agree, there are a few ways that you can quickly get to your climate control in the Peugeot. You can use 3 fingers on the screen, which will take you home, and then there's a very clear widget for climate. You also have these heavy weighted keys underneath the widgets, which you can hit and it will take you straight to your climate control. And if you still wanted an even easier way, you can actually customise these widgets along the bottom as well. So you can add things like your favourite temperature or your heated steering wheel. Something I'm really pleasantly surprised about is the ride quality. I was expecting the 408 on these 20-inch wheels to be quite unsettled, but actually it's pretty good. Even on these uneven road surfaces around Oxford, it stayed quite comfortable. That might also be aided by the fact I've got some really nice supportive sport seats, but I think even if I didn't have those, it would remain quite comfortable. I think that when it comes to building a vehicle which is going to turn people's perceptions on Peugeot, this is an excellent place to start. The Peugeot 408 is definitely going to bring some more premium customers into the brand. I've really enjoyed this car and it's seriously impressed me. Yes, those hybrid engines could be a little bit better, but for a BIC rate of 8%, it's definitely really appealing to those company car drivers. But let me know, what do you think of the Peugeot 408? Is it your cup of tea, or would you prefer something else? Let me know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed the video, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. And if you wanted to see more videos from me on this channel, Auto Social UK, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button.